Beth Lane with Bay St. Louis Library, and welcome to Storytime. This week we're going to be talking about scribbles. Scribbles are so much fun. On March 27th is National Scribble Day. There is just a day for everything, isn't there? So scribbles are something that you can do without thinking too much. And every word and every drawing and so much else starts with just a line. So we've got some great books about scribbling. I'm going to show you how to say art in sign language. We've got a great bunch of crafts and activities for you, and we're going to wrap it up with Tootie Ta from Excel by 5. Are you ready for a story? Okay, for sign language today, we are going to do art. The word art. It's very simple. And a lot of scribbles turn into very fine art. So to say art in sign language, you hold up your non-dominant hand like it's a canvas or a piece of paper. You hold up your little pinky on the other hand, and you do a little squiggle line like you are drawing with your pinky. And that is how you say art in sign language. Okay, our first book today is called Lines That Wiggle. It's by Candace Whitman, illustrations by Steve Wilson, and it has these great bold pictures with little glittery lines all through it that just make you use your imagination. This says lines that wiggle, and that one turns into a snake. Lines that bend. That one has an elephant sitting on top, and then a bird on top of the elephant. Wavy lines from end to end. And here's a giant octopus under the ocean with a little sailboat right here. Lines that tickle. So here's a cat's whiskers tickling this girl. Lines that sprout. And here is a big seed under the ground, and it has sprouted into a tree. Bugs have lines that stick right out. So here's a bug upside down on the ceiling, and it's sticking on this guy as he's reading a book about bugs. How cute is that? Lines to trap. So here's a spider web. It's made out of lines. Lines to hide. So this looks like a bunch of some kind of giraffes or something. And this guy is hiding behind those big lines right here. Two lines running side by side. These are dotted lines. And these two are riding a tandem bicycle. Lines that curve. Oh, look at this funny mummy. And he's got little curvy tape around him. Underwater lines that swirl. So if you want to draw something swirling, you make swirly lines, like this whale. Lines that crisscross. Uh-oh. These guys are stuck behind the crisscross lines, and there's a helicopter up here that has trapped them. Lines that mend. This little honeybee wrapped a line around this flower to make it fixed. Lines with doggies at the end. So these would be leashes, and those are lines. Look at all those weenie dogs. And the cat is in control of the dogs. Lines that scurry. Scurry means you go real fast. And lines in threes. So here's 3 lines that just weave around and make a lovely pattern. Lines in leaves that grow on trees. Lines that twist like a road. Lines that sway. Lines that swish the flies away like a horse's tail. Zigzag lines light up the sky like lightning. Rainbow lines are way up high, and those are curved. Uh-oh, what is that sitting on the rainbow lines? Lines are everywhere you look. So find some lines not in this book. That's adorable. Okay, this is an amazing book. It's by Barney Salzberg. It's called Beautiful Oops. And it is how every little mistake that you make or you think you make can turn into something beautiful if you just use your imagination. So the pop-out book, so there's lots of little things to discover. It says, oops, a torn piece of paper. Uh-oh, it really is torn. Look at that. But when you turn around, it's an alligator's mouth. Is just the beginning. Every spill has lots of possibilities. It turns into an elephant, a purple elephant. Bent paper, like this little corner here. Look, it's something to celebrate. It became part of a penguin. A little drip of paint. Big paintbrush. Let your imagination run wild. This little drip turned into a little piggy. And here's little piggy wheels and a little piggy car. A scrap of paper. Look at all the little torn edges. It's just a piece of newspaper. Can be fun to play with. They painted a dog on it. A smudge and a smear can make magic appear. And here is a rabbit who is fishing for this fish with a hook. A stain, so there's some hot chocolate, has potential. If you play with its shape, that stain became a frog sticking his tongue out. Holes in your paper. That looks like a donut right there. Exploring. There's holes all over the place. Are worth exploring here. And look at this. When you look at all the holes, this works like an accordion. You can look through there and see hole after hole after hole and lots of fun colors and decorations. All right, when you think you have made a mistake, look at that. Oops. Think of it as an opportunity to make something beautiful. And here's just a wadded up piece of paper and it becomes like a sheep's coat. It is just fabulous. So don't think of them as mistakes. Think of them as opportunities to make something beautiful or wonderful. Okay, this book is so cute. It's called Jeremy Draws a Monster. It's by Peter McCarty. And it is about a lonely little boy that draws a friend, and it doesn't come out quite like he thinks it will. It has a few problems. Let's see what he does. Jeremy lived on the top floor of a 3-story apartment building. There he is, way up there. He had his very own room. He never left. He never went outside. He's looking out the window and there's all these other people playing outside and he just looks out the window. One day, Jeremy took out his fancy pen and started to draw. He began at the top and continued over to the other side. Look at him drawing. He's standing on a stool. He's drawing something. What is that? Jeremy drew a monster, and it has a number 3 on it. That's a crazy monster. Arg, said the monster. Draw me a sandwich. I'm hungry. The monster did not say thank you, but he drew him a sandwich, and the monster ate it. Draw me a toaster, growled the monster. I like toast. Draw me a record player. It's too quiet around here. Draw me a checkerboard. I want to play checkers. Draw me a comfortable chair. Boy, that monster is demanding. Draw me a television. I want to watch the game. And draw me a hot dog too. Poor Jeremy, he's drawing so much. Draw me a telephone. Somebody might call. Draw me a piece of cake. I want dessert. Then the monster said, are you going to sit there all day? Draw me a hat. I'm going out. So Jeremy draws him a big hat. Oh, look at the monster in his fancy hat. Jeremy was relieved that the monster was gone. It's like, boy, that was a demanding monster. Later that night, Jeremy heard bang, bang, bang at the door. The monster had returned. Uh-oh. And what does the monster do? He pushes Jeremy out of bed and he crawls in Jeremy's bed. The next morning, Jeremy drew a bus ticket and a suitcase, and he hands them to the monster. Jeremy led the monster out the door, down the stairs to the street, and onto the next bus out of town. And there goes the monster. He's going away. Do you want to play ball? Asked the neighbors. Okay, Jeremy said. And they did. They all played ball and Jeremy made some new friends. Okay, and I just want to do a couple of shout outs for a couple of books that are terrific and they're very similar to what we just read. This one is called The Book of Mistakes by Karina Luyken. And it is about a girl who is lonely and she thinks she's made a mistake when she's drawing. But it turns out that her mistakes turn into beautiful artwork as you go through the book. So, highly recommended. Another one is called Journey. This is a Caldecott Award winner. It's by Erin Becker, and it is a book without words. And it has beautiful illustrations. And again, it's about a girl who is lonely. She draws an imaginary door to adventurous worlds and has the time of her life just using her imagination and her red marker. So again, highly recommended. Welcome to Scribble Storytime. Scribbles are so much fun and they are really a great way to show how you feel about something, and it's a good way to help develop writing skills and art skills. And some of the books that we read today had to do with how there really are no mistakes when you're scribbling and doing art because everything is an opportunity. So today we've got some great activity sheets for you. We've got some on practicing drawing straight lines, and it should look, everybody's is going to look different. But if you see, when you do these line exercises, you want to keep your crayon or your pencil on the page as you draw the lines. And that way you can create some really fun designs. You're going to do the same thing with curvy lines. So when you do curvy lines, you're going to just swirl and swoop and keep your crayon or your pencil on the page or on the paper until you finish the whole design. Everyone's will look different. So it should look something like that, and you can even color in the shapes that you make. But it's just practice on straight lines and curvy lines, which are part of scribbling and is part of writing. We also have a couple of sheets. One is a circle and one is a square, and you can just scribble, scrabble however you want, however you feel. You're going to be getting a little pack of crayons to get you started with that. And here are a couple of examples. This one was a square, and with this you get some little different expressions on here that have different feelings because lines and colors and shapes can show people how you feel about things. This one says sleepy, and it has a lot of bold colors and just fun designs, and it's in a square, and it's got the little sticker that says sleepy, and that's how somebody felt. For our circle example, we have this one that's got lots of interesting colors, and it's all just scrabbled in a nice soft way. It's very calm colors, and it's also very whimsical in how it's done with lots of loops. And the expression on here is silly. So there's lots of little emotions that you can cut these out and paste them on your Scrabble to show how you feel about something. We also have a piece of sidewalk chalk. So this is for an at-home activity where you can Scrabble on the sidewalk to your heart's content and make all kinds of fun shapes and designs, and that's just scribbling with chalk. So when you scribble, you're starting with a dot and then a line, and you can do that with all kinds of different materials, including crayons and markers and chalk and paint and things like that. So you're starting with a line. It can be a curvy line, it can be a wavy line, it can be straight lines, whatever you want to do with it. So you will get crayons, you'll need some scissors, you'll need a glue stick to paste your little emotions on your circle or your square. You're also going to get what looks like a stain. We've got several different versions, so I'm not sure which one you'll get, but it looks like just a stain on there. And this is from the book that we read, Beautiful Oops, or A Beautiful Oops. And you're going to pick a stain and get a crayon or marker or something and turn it into whatever you think it should be. You're going to turn it into something based on what you see in that stain. So here was the one that I started with. And I saw a little man in there, a little pot-bellied man, and I put a hat on him and some little triangle legs and drew some arms. So you can make up whatever you want with your own stain. So I want to show you again how to say art in sign language. Remember, you hold your hand up like it's a piece of paper or a canvas. Hold your pinky up, and you do a little squiggly line like you are drawing on a notepad or your canvas. You can pick up your craft kits at any Hancock County library. Just give us a call first. We'll have one ready for you. And we are going to wrap it up with Tootie Ta and Excel by 5. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
A tootie-ta, a tootie-ta.